Good morning and welcome back to Nice Morning Commute, the show where I take your questions and answer them on my way to work every day in the morning. Hit that subscribe button, then go over to patreon.com/Nightsmith to support the channel. So today I am actually getting ready to go into work a little bit early. We're going to be popping manholes in one of the cities or boroughs around here, and I'm actually in the smoke shop parking lot. I bought some pipe tobacco this morning. Which bag is that? That's my food. Got some Captain Black Royal. Gonna be delicious. So, today's question comes from Mike. How do you refuse a reasonable favor that you owe? And there's no good way to refuse a favor, especially if you owe it. I mean, there's tactful ways, but it all comes down to the reason that you're trying to refuse it. Obviously, if there is no reason, you really and don't have a real basis to refuse it, you kind of have to go through it. However, and this goes back to what I said sometime last week. I forget the episode number. The power of saying no. There are certain occasions, certain instances where, for your own health, your own safety, your own mental well-being, whatever, you have to tell people no. And that is a reasonable basis for you to refuse a request. You're stretched too thin or whatever. I generally have a lot of money, more than most of my friends, and I've had to tell people no in the past to borrow even as little as $20 from me, because at that time I didn't have it to spend. It was earmarked for other things, or Christmas is coming up and I needed the money, or I was trying to get myself into a better financial position and I needed to save up a certain amount of money before I could make a move. And on that basis, even though, borrowing $20 is like nothing, and I had to tell that person no, because, even though I have the $20, it's already marked for something else. Like right now, I have a certain amount of money for a house from the wedding that, yes, I actually have the money in my account, but no, I can't spend it, and no, I can't loan it out to people, even though I have it. So that's one instance where you can tell someone no for a reasonable request. Another is you've been just stretched too thin lately. And I have to tell people no all the time. Do you want to hang out? Do you do this? Do you want to do that? And even if I owe it to somebody to hang out with them, to give them 2 hours of my time, there are instances where I have to say, no, I can't do that. I can't come out. And it makes me look like the asshole. It makes me feel like the asshole. But, sometimes you just need time to yourself. You need time to recoup. And if you don't have that time, it negatively impacts you. And you have to refuse that request. I've had friends ask me for help when I was in a bit of a funk, and I've lost friends because of this. I've lost friends that I've had for decades because I had to tell them no of something that I'm completely physically able to do. But like I said, I was in a funk and I couldn't mentally or emotionally handle going out in public and doing these tasks for them. And I've lost friends that I value, friends that I would have done anything on this planet for, and they're gone because they couldn't handle it, that I wasn't able to do something for them. And that tells you what kind of a person they are. I've had to tell people no. For them, they asked me if I could go to their party, and by all reasons, there's no reason I couldn't. It's a completely reasonable request. On the face, and to them it seems like a completely reasonable request, but the last several times I was at their parties, I was attacked. and they thought nothing wrong of it. They didn't see it as an attack. They thought, oh, we're just being friends. Yet I was viciously attacked several times, not by them, but by groups of their friends. So, and I do owe that person some time. So, and they're being kind. At least they think they're being kind and asking me to come to their party. When in reality, they're asking me to come and be abused for several hours by friends of theirs who are drinking. It's not going to happen. So, every request can be a reasonable request, but sometimes you do have to refuse it. And there's a plethora of reasons that you can, but it comes down to, are you capable of fulfilling the request? That makes it a reasonable request. Why wouldn't you be able to refuse it? Things are earmarked for certain places. You don't have enough social currency to spend on people that day. Emotional, physical reasons. You can't do the request. Time constraints. Never endanger your own well-being to help somebody else out. And that goes back to the putting the mask on yourself first before helping the person next to you on an airline. If you pass out from hypoxia, you can't help anybody else. And that same reasoning needs to go throughout your entire life. If you're drowning, you're of no use to somebody else. If you stress yourself so thin that you injure yourself, you can't do work. And you need to consciously make those decisions every day. Yeah, you might be able to push a little bit harder today and get that job finished. But if you push harder, you're going to injure yourself and be out of work for a week. So you've just lost a week's worth of work to finish a task in one day that could have waited till tomorrow. Was it worth it? No. So, guys, that's the answer to Mike's question. When can you refuse a reasonable request to someone that you owe? Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button again. It's down here, I think. Maybe it's over here. It's the red one. The big red shiny subscribe button. And then go over to patreon.com/Knightsmith to support the channel. Even $1 a month helps. And give me questions. I need questions, guys. I mean, it's not bad answering a bunch of questions from one guy because I know how his mind works. So I'm easily able to interpret, how he asks the questions. But I want your questions. Your questions right there. You sitting there watching this video. I want your questions. And it doesn't have to be about anything in particular. Just ask me a question and I'll answer it. Thanks for watching, guys. Thank you for helping me make this world better one curve at a time, and I'll see you tomorrow.